And then you hear this crash, and I was like, what's going on? We're both startled looking at each other. She had ran the neighbor's mailbox over.
Trying to wipe your face.
Trying to wipe my face. She just done wiped the whole thing out. Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Be Life Changers. I am Kathy Coach, your host, and I am excited to have Carlene Carter here with Divine Body Bar. She is such a good friend of mine, and I just thought at the beginning of the year, I've got to get some of my favorites on the show. And so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. It is a pleasure to have you here. I was so excited to bring you in and show you JT visuals. I absolutely love it here. They are my family. They help bring Be Life Changers to fruition. And as you see, it is amazing. Those of you that can see, it's designed perfectly all the way down to my purple mics that make me feel so special. And I just want to give a shout out today to JT Visuals. If you have ever, thank you for all that you do for me. I appreciate it. It's so nice, Carlene, to be able to walk in the door. As you know, we're busy. It's even hard for us to even get on the phone and talk sometimes.
It is.
But so it's so nice to be able to come in and be able to do Be Life Changers right here at JT Visuals and know that it's being well taken care of. I know God had called me to do this and to have someone that believes just as much as I do and able to step in and bring it to fruition. I don't have to do anything. Like I walk in with my guest and walk out, and they literally have everything done for us. And so that's very special because that doesn't happen everywhere.
That's right.
And so I just want to give them an extra shout out today and tell them how much I appreciate them, how much I love them. I love each and every one of them, all the way down to the crew, the team, and they always make me feel welcome. They call me a team member. I don't know why, but they just do. But it's so fun to be able to come in and watch them grow. This year, though, Kansas City, you got to try this out. If you have ever thought about doing a podcast, you've got to take up this offer. Come in, reach out to Jared. There's a way you can come in and just try it out before you commit. And so it's do it. I mean, I'm telling you, there's more information below. Look in the link below and sign up for that. Come in, try it out. I guarantee you'll be staying because that's how I was here. I tried it once and I am here. Man, I've been here over a year now.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's been a year already?
Almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, almost a year. Yep. I just had to think about that. It is. It is almost. We're very close. Yep, very, very close. By the time this comes out, it will be a year. So I could say that. Happy year to me, I guess.
Yes. Well, congratulations on that year.
I know. It's exciting. It's so exciting to see what God has done in our businesses, both of our businesses.
Yes.
And so that is why I wanted to have you on, because your story is so powerful. And that is what Be Life Changers is all about, is making sure our community knows about the wonderful businesses that are right here in Kansas City and some of the local areas. I bring people in from around Kansas and Missouri as well. But Kansas City really is full of some great businesses that have powerful stories and that are making such a change. And you are one of them, my friend.
Yes.
And so I wanted to make sure to have you on and be able to tell that story. So with that said, tell us just a little bit about you and how that kind of leads up to you getting into a business of your own.
Well, I was born and raised here in Kansas City.
Okay.
I have 2 children who are grown. Thank you, Jesus. And I have 6 grandchildren. However, my passion has always been, even when I had my daughter, skincare. Okay. There is a company out there called L'Oreal Cosmetics.
Yes.
They're out of Atlanta.
All right.
Okay. And they're a Black-owned company, and I used to be one of their reps.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it because showing women how to make themselves beautiful, you don't have to cake on makeup. It's just knowing how to apply it. And so what that did was lead me into skincare. I was going to go to dermatology school, but when they told me how long it took, I said, no, we got to do another route. So I ended up going to esthetician school in Johnson County. And so I got my esthetician's license about 12 years ago. And so I had a salon. COVID came, and of course that went. However, when I would go to the store, just stopping by, because I do work another job, and I would just, how you want to run in Walmart, run in Target, you want to run and just grab something and come out. Well, I ran in, but I didn't run out because people would always stop me and they would go, oh, well, have you ever used this? How does this work on your skin? Do you? And I'm like, am I wearing a sign? I'm checking myself. Yeah. And, I would actually help them. And it kept happening. And I was like, okay, Lord, are you trying to tell me something? Because people wanted me to open my salon back up. And I was like, no way, Jose. I want to be on another side of skincare.
Right.
And I honestly thought about opening up a facial line. But it's so much out there. We don't need that. So what happened was I came up with, nobody talks about the body, how to take care of the body. Everybody's talking about the face. So that's when I came up with Divine Favor Body Bar. And I started making sugar scrubs and body butters, all organic. Because I don't want chemicals in them. We got enough chemicals in our food and everything else. So I wanted it to be all organic. And so that's what I did. I was in the kitchen mixing up and researching, ingredients and things that would come together and form a bond of moisture on the skin. So that's how I came up with the body butters and the sugar scrubs. Because a lot of times people, don't matter what color your skin is, you will go to put lotion on and then you look back and you're like, did I put anything on? Well, you did. However, it's sitting on top of dead skin. So you have to exfoliate with the sugar scrub, then go in with your body butter, and then you'll see a big difference.
Oh, you see a huge difference. Yes, and all the way, your skin glows more. And I love when I've tried a lot of different, and I was never a big lotion person, and for that very reason, because either one, it would just soak in and I wouldn't see it, or two, it just sit on there and felt like I had wax or something on top of my skin. It would just make me sweat more. So I just didn't enjoy it. And then I've used different scrubs as well. And I know when I tried yours, the difference was, it really, you see the smoothness in the skin. And when I used the body butter, it just went in. It didn't feel like it was on my skin, but yet you could feel and see the moisture.
Yes.
So it was like that perfect blend. And I don't say that because, I try a whole lot of products out there. You know that.
We all do.
Yes,
we all do.
yes. And then all the vendor events and stuff I've been in.
Exactly.
But yeah, so and the scents that you use as well aren't overpowering. And so I think, that, but yet there are different ones too, though, because we all have our own preference.
Yes, we do.
And so all the way to the unscented. And I like that as well because some people don't like a scent at all.
Some people don't like scent.
And so I like that it's all organic. And so
Yeah, because I use, what people don't understand is you can get oils that are moisturizing and you can naturally scent those without chemicals. When they go to make a body spray or either perfume, it's got an alcohol base.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to have an alcohol base. Mine is more of an oil base. So you can get a scented oil, which will do the same thing.
Right. Ooh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that. You've done your research, girl.
Yes, I have to.
But that's how you know, though, it is your calling, is that when you can walk into a room and people just walk up to you, and you're like, wait a minute, like you said, do I have the shirt on?
Right.
Do I have the shirt on?
I was like, is there a sign or something?
Is there a sign
what is going on here?
I think about that because way back in the day, I was very young and people would always come want advice or or when they start a business they'd come tell me their idea or it's just like what is going on
exactly
what's going on but it is true when we and I always tell people pay attention to that because if you are thinking about doing something because we all have gifts, talents, and abilities and we do need each other
but
I always say start watching those things if that is something you desire to do, or even if, and when you get ready as a young person, talking to the young people out there,
Yes.
when you're like, I don't know what I like to do. Well, experience things. See what, see when you walk into a room, like children. I know children's another thing. I have kids always come to me, even to this day. I have the tribe of Judah. I have 8 children as it is, and 10 grandchildren already and counting. So, I mean, but the thing of it is, I knew at a young age that was one of my gifts. So you start watching those things and then try those different areas out, and you'll start seeing what comes to flourishing. Do you remember a time when you were young that you kind of knew? Is there a time that you can think of?
Well, I would always sit back. I'm one of those that I wouldn't hang out with people my age. I was always around older.
Okay.
So my dad, I'm a daddy's girl. I would always watch Dad, and Dad was an entrepreneur very early. One of the things, he's gone now, but one of the things he will never get credit for, back in the 70s, remember when we would go to work in the office buildings? There was nowhere to go buy snacks or anything like that. My dad started that down there because he managed a building off of 12th Street.
Oh,
where he was the electrician.
Okay.
And so they had a spot that was so little they really couldn't do anything to it. So he asked the owner if he could use it. And he said, yeah. So he brought in a double coffee pot and had a Folgers can there with the slit in it where you put your quarter for your coffee. And then he would go different snacks and treats and put them in. And everything was on the honor system.
Right.
And so I'm watching this. And then he also was a chef. And he would cook and things. And I was like, well, wait a minute. It started soaking in because I'm watching him, even though he was working. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I want to do something. What can I do? And then I've always liked makeup. Now, when I was younger, Mama wouldn't let me wear it. You know how the girls, they would come to school with their makeup on, and I wanted my lip gloss and stuff, couldn't have it. So that never stopped me, though. From, playing in it when you have friends that have it and stuff. Just couldn't go home with it on.
No, you couldn't.
Yes. And so that piqued my curiosity. And I started saying, what is it that I really, really want to do? And that's why I started out as a representative for Olorel. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. If I can do this for them, I need to learn some more information. That's how I ended up going to school.
Okay.
To get my esthetician's license.
Well, it's amazing the things that we learn. Like my mom was in the beauty industry as well. And so she worked at a beauty shop down there and did older ladies' hair, of course, so that she could have that same schedule as my father, who was a teacher. He worked for a Votech there. So he was an electronics teacher. And so he, again, did stuff on the outside edge, too. He had a little VCR business. He would fix, remember back in the day we had VCRs?
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't laugh. I still have one.
I know. Me too. Shh, don't tell nobody. But yeah, but in our garage, he would like fix the VCRs. And then my mom would work part-time, while raising us kids and at the beauty salon. So again, watching my parents who started, and my grandfather too, who all was an entrepreneur, and that spirit just gets in you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And your kids the same thing. My kids the same way. But I do have a story that's pretty funny about, I probably understand why I didn't go into the beauty industry, because I like makeup too, was cute back in the day. But I too, like you, wanted to wear it when I wasn't supposed to. And we lived out in the country, and we were headed into town to go to middle school, because it was middle school. Because by the time I was in high school, they let me wear the lip gloss and stuff. But I don't know. Some of you young ones don't know about that these days.
They don't.
But on the way there, my mom reaches over, and she's like, you put that lipstick on, and I told you not to. So she's over there rubbing my lipstick off.
God.
And we're driving, and all of a sudden we hear this horrendous thud, and then you hear this crash, and I was like, what's going on? We're both startled, looking at each other. She had ran the neighbor's mailbox over.
Trying to wipe your face?
Trying to wipe my face. She just done wiped the whole thing out. Well, so then we come back, and my mama, she was heated. So I was grounded.
You were in trouble.
I was in trouble. I was grounded from the floor up and everything else they did back then. And so, but my mom was sweet. She went and brought him another mailbox, took it over there to him. And when she came out, it was a couple days later, she was like, well, so much for the mailbox I got them. They had got one of them steel posts. She's like, you better not wear no lipstick because we can't hit that one. It'll kill us. I thought, oh my goodness, are you crazy? But back in the day, they didn't play.
No, they did not.
So it was good. I still like that, but I didn't love it. And my mom was right. I can do hair. I can do hair to this day. I mean, I can do all the things that she did. She just said, Kathy, you really don't have the passion for that.
Right.
And just because I did it doesn't mean you have to do it. Because I think a lot of days back in the day, we thought we had to do everything our parents did.
Yes, we did.
And we didn't always, it wasn't the gift God put in us.
No.
So I was glad that my mom had the wisdom to say, hey, sis, I know you're really good at it. It is a talent you have. You're good at, doing hair and makeup and things like that, and you like to play with it. But I just don't see the passion in you.
You know what? It was
good. Feel like you're called for more.
Exactly. It's good she did that because I think a lot of times parents don't pay attention to the gifts that the child has because they need to nurture that gift. That helps them walk into their purpose that God created them for. And so I had to do that with my kids. I had my daughter first, and her and my son are 13 years apart.
Okay.
Well, my daughter is a traditional kid. She'll go to school, traditional college and things like that. When Cameron came along, that was out the window. I knew it, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what we going to do? What we going to do with this one? But I asked him, what does he like to do? And so one day I was doing laundry, and I went in his room to put laundry in his room, and he left a notebook laying on the bed. So I picked it up, and I started reading it. This kid, all the way back at 12, 14 years old, when you read some of the stuff he writes, you would think he's 50 or 60 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so I knew then it was a creative side. And so I was trying to get him into journalism. And he was like, Mom, I don't want to do that. I was like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, I ain't figured it out yet. And I'm thinking, your sister figured it out by the time she graduated. You ain't figured what we going to do? And so he ended up moving to L.A., moved him to L.A. He went to the L.A. Film School. Cameron writes, produces, and sings.
Oh,
so he's known in the industry as a triple threat. And I told him, that's good. The more you can do, the better off for you.
Yes, yeah. So true. So true.
So I had to let him kind of find his way. So he makes beats, he produces music and stuff. And so I just say, go for it, honey. Go for it.
That's right. That's right. But you being able to nurture that and see that, I think that's why it's so important as we raise our children to look for those gifts.
Yes.
Because even though it wasn't in your timing, you're probably like driving. I mean, I know. I have the same thing with a couple of mine. I'm like, oh my goodness, I could literally see. And even to this day, I know a couple of them, I know where they're going to get to.
Right.
That it is not yet because I've seen it. But again, just nurturing it and not forcing, but being able to place those things. So I'm sure you placed plenty of things around that nurtured that gift.
Yes.
And that drew him into the writing and producing. And,
and he loves music. I would buy, what do you call those things? Keyboards. Here, take it. Because he had found one in the closet that his sister won. And she never did anything with it because she was violin until she got to a full-size violin, made me pay for it. And she go, Mom, I don't want to do this. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
What?
So, but he found that. And so that's how he got started, mixing different things. And so when he would say he needed whatever it is, I don't even know what they call them in the music industry, I would say, okay, how much does it cost? Let's get it. And just let him do his thing.
Right. Oh, definitely. Being able to see those gifts and seeing those gifts even within ourselves.
Yes.
Because those do change and they grow. I mean, I always remind myself, even looking back, at what all those things that I just thought, what am I doing here? Like, I mean, how did I end up, running a daycare, while I'm raising my kids to, then it was the health and wellness industry. And then over to here, it seemed like nothing ever made sense or lined up. But now that I look back at what I do now, and I'm like, wow, that does make sense. It was so God ordained because everything I touched and everything I did prepared me for what I'm doing now.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes we, like you said, look at the journey and we're like, why was I over here or why was I doing that? But God was preparing us for where he was taking us. And see, with me, I had to go work in corporate America, then work for federal government. And I'm like, this ain't, okay, I'm here for a reason. I mean, figure out what that reason is. But everything comes together.
Mm-hmm.
It always comes together, even though it seems like we took the long route to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It came together. And so now, like you, I like helping people when they say they want to start a business. Let's get them on the right track. Because I can attest to wasting thousands of dollars because I didn't know.
Right.
You're trying to put it together. Okay, well, I'll do this. Well, okay, I got to run over there and do this. You don't know the first thing when it comes to starting a business. You might know the business name. You might know what product you want to have, but nobody can tell you where you go from there.
Right.
They'll say, well, did you register with the state? Well, depending on the type of business,
right,
it takes more than just registering with the state. So you need to know everything about that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I know you probably ran into some roadblocks yourself with that because when it's health and wellness, I mean, there's a lot of, FDA caps and and was there any challenges through that you had to get over?
Oh my God, yes, and still getting through some to this day because I was able to sit down and research the products, find all my natural ingredients, where to get them from, how much they're going to cost, get the bank account started, but nobody talked about the FDA regulations.
Right.
Because you have to put labels on stuff to tell people what's in it.
What's in it, yes.
Not necessarily how much of the formula, but they got to know what ingredients are in it. You got to tell them, what the stabilization is. How long will this sit on the shelf? Nobody talks about that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly.
Then there are certifications that you can get in the cosmetic industry, but nobody talks about that. So how would a person know? They think that they have a product, they're ready to go, and then they don't talk about insurance. On a business, you have to have insurance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So all of those things, I want to sit down and put together a pamphlet. I'm not going to say a book because when I think of book, I think of something thick. No. You just need a pamphlet. That's all.
A workbook. Workbook. She ain't talking about workbook.
Thank you. Okay, a workbook to help you work through the situation.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you'll know kind of when you pick it up, okay, these are the things I need to be looking at. That way you can map it out. So that way you get started on the right foot.
Right. Because it's so important, to have those systems in place.
Yes.
And, as I always say, my teammate, our team is always talking about how can we make the systems, the processes sexy. Because it's like everybody wants to do the, getting their product out there.
Right.
They want to do the fun stuff, like, the social media side of things, which is all important. That has to be there. Because, of course, on the promoter side of things, I'm going to tell you, that's important.
That's
you
very
can have all the systems ready and not get yourself out there and the name out there. You're going to crash just as hard as if you didn't have the systems in place. The thing of it is, it's easy to get people to come to workshops. It's easy to get people to come to trainings when you're talking about social media, posting, because everybody's just so enthralled with that because we're in an age that we never thought we would be in. I mean, to be able to put a picture up and millions of people see it.
Exactly.
I mean, that never. We had to remember when we had to put a stamp on it and hope somebody opened the mail.
Well, you know what? As children, we used to look at George Jetson and think, oh, that's ridiculous. Remember how they would have the little robot and things?
The little watch.
Yes, and we was like, no, that ain't going to never happen. We'll never see that. But, we're seeing it now.
A whole lot of
We're seeing it now. And I think we as business owners that are really serious about having a business and growing it, one of the things you have to get in your head is, first of all, you can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
And second of all, you have to pay it forward.
Yes.
So don't try to charge somebody for information because there is information out there, but you want to make sure people get started on the right track. So you can't charge for everything.
Right.
You cannot. I'm sorry. And a lot of people, and I think that's what discourages a lot of people sometime in business because they'll go to an accountant and they'll go, well, I just have some questions. What do I need to do? Do I need to, when I buy my products, should I put them on an inventory sheet? Should I keep track of this? They have questions. Well, your consultation with me is $500. They're getting started. They don't have $500 to sit down and talk to you. But if you want to get them going in the right direction, if you help them, that business will come back to you because they'll say, wait a minute, this person helped me. Let me go back. Okay, I need an accountant. They tell me that. So what do you charge? It's going to come back. And if you are fair and upfront and right with somebody else, guess what that's going to do? It's going to open the door because they're going to tell the next person hey, I got a real good accountant.
Right.
Hey, I got a real good coach.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it will bring business to you, but we have to get into that mindset.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because and that's where my heart has always been, and I know you know this, but is that person who's just getting started, because we don't know everything that we need to know. Like I used to always tell people, I know what I'm trying to explain to you, but I don't know the proper term. Like,
Right, right, exactly.
like, it's like the SEO, what's that? Like, all those things. At first, I was like, what are they even talking about? Somebody would
Exactly.
say something, and then they would tell you the description of what they were saying. And you were like, well, I knew that. That's what I was talking about. But you just didn't know what to call it. But
Exactly.
that happens over and over again.
Yes.
And I always say the sad part about a lot of businesses, especially, a lot of businesses have had to close their doors. There's a lot going on right now.
Yes.
They were only one question away
Yes,
from
ma'am.
being able to keep their door open.
Yes,
They just
exactly.
needed the information on how, not trying to do everything themselves. Because we as entrepreneurs, a lot of times, because of money and that we're just getting started, we don't always know where to go to get the information. And then we can't afford some of those places.
Correct.
And so it gets really frustrating as to what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
And so, that's where Be Life Changers is going. We want to talk about people's purpose, making a plan in your life and in business. And it's making that plan. And I think that's what's so important. And sometimes that plan is finding those resources, because there is resources. There's resources right here in Kansas City that do help you get up and going enough. And then be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Because I also say there's a flip side to that too. In business, you can't do everything for free either.
No.
So you got to spend money to make money. So there's a point of free information.
Yes.
But then there's a point that when you are making the money, pay to get the help.
Yes.
And release it.
Exactly.
And release it.
Exactly. Well, you have to. You have to. Because if God is allowing you to get information so that you can get started, and now that you're making money, you can't expect free handouts.
No.
You can't. Because one of the organizations that's free is KC Gifts that helped me, even did product shots. Girl, I know nothing about product shots. Let me tell you. Product shots. And then like when you go to different events, you know how you have to set your table up?
Oh, yeah.
You and I talked about this.
Yes, we have.
My sister came up from Texas and she goes, show me your layout. I was like, what layout? I said, here the products are. What you talking about? She was like, I know. You're not going to set them on. I said, well, they here to. She's like, no. And so you seen how she came and decorated my table and things like that. So it is a learning experience.
Right.
And then you have to incorporate other people to help you.
Yes.
Because I'm
collaboration.
the research person, looking up the organic ingredients, seeing how well they work together. Now, you going to come over here and ask me about demonstration or that? What? I told her that's not mine.
Frou and pretty? What's
Right.
that?
I said, that's not me. I make sure everything
Slap
works.
the label
here.
on it. Let's go.
Let's go. Right. Okay.
The product works.
This one's called Citrus Bliss. It's a sugar scrub. You can see that. Where are we going from there? And so she was like, you know what? She just pointed and like, you know what? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back over here in my lane. And then she's the creative, artsy one. So I'm going to put her in her lane.
Right.
So, but we work well together.
And that's what's so important, is building that team of knowing that you need help.
Yes.
And collaborating, even if it's coming with another business. I mean, that's how I do it. I have two businesses that work with me.
Exactly.
And we just help each other in the areas, like one's stronger in this one, we're strong, and then we come together and it works. We all have the same passion because we want all of our businesses to grow.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's the best help you can get.
It is.
But knowing that you need the help.
And you know what? I'm so thankful to you, because when I seen your event, remember I calling you, we kept playing phone tag.
Phone tag.
I don't
Yes.
know what was going on, but we was playing phone tag. But when we finally hooked up and I started asking questions, you answered those questions. And you said, come on out to this event. And I was like, well, do you have space? And he was like, yes, come on, don't worry about that. And we were able to meet, sit and talk. And now you mentor me, which is a big help to me, because you've been down that road. So now you can answer questions that I have,
Exactly.
And I thank you for that. I really do. I appreciate it so much. You just don't know how much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I mean, it takes people like you. I mean, I love that's more my heart. That's where I get the gratification is seeing, businesses grow. And you've grown so much from like when we first met and bringing your sister and getting everything all decorated. And it's just so fun to watch. It's fun to watch and seeing the vision of where you want to go. And I love those stories and I love seeing them happen and that passion of that. But it is true, like when we were talking about vendor shows, a lot of times people don't realize there is a lot of intricate parts to that.
Oh, yes.
And, when 2020 hit, it hit the industry really hard. And I was so glad that I started I listened to a coach that said, you need a membership program. I like it in a vendor event. Like, what? How am I supposed to have a membership program with vendors? At that point, it didn't really make sense to me. But I was like, okay, so I can maybe be a preferred vendor. And I started playing all this stuff in my head. But what I didn't realize was God was setting me up for when we wouldn't have events. And we literally took it online and learned everything online. That mentorship had already started then. And so that membership is exactly what put us through COVID. And when we came out, I had a choice. I could have went back to doing just events, and going back, or I could let a team run that part and go on with the promoting side of things. Because there was so many people putting on the events but yet were we getting traffic to all of them? Like, and were people getting the information out there?
Exactly.
We have a lot of influencers who are amazing. Shout out to all my influencer friends.
Yes.
You do an amazing job shouting out Kansas City and their businesses, but there wasn't a lot of information coming out about small, like pop-up shopping events and the festivals and different things going on. So I said I have a choice. I can either go back in because I know I love throwing a good party.
Yes.
I know that's one of my gifts. I love it. I love decorating. I love throwing a party. I love people seeing fun. But the thing of it is, I needed people to get to that party for them. And so that's where my whole switch was. And then making sure a vendor is successful. I mean, it was okay that you paid for a booth, but it doesn't do any good if you're not seeing success from being there. And success is not always making money. Success is being people following you.
Yes.
And all those little important things that people don't think about.
Yes.
And so, that is where that switch took in. And that's why I was like, okay, we're going to go more on, making sure we're feeding. And then, of course, it's even grew more than that. As Be Life Changers came a point, it was making sure people knew the stories of the small businesses.
Yes.
And now we're growing into those retreats to make sure that we're being fed with the information that we're missing.
Exactly.
And so it grew bigger than what I ever, I was like, well, okay, now I feel like, whoa.
Exactly.
Can I handle all of this? Like, what's going on?
You got it. Because one thing about a business, I wanted to stick with just body butters and sugar scrubs. Then my a niece calls me. She goes, Auntie, I like your body butters and sugar scrubs, but I have locks. I was like, and she was like, well, what about oil for my locks? I was like, girl, I'll get back to you on that.
Right.
So I started researching again. Then here comes my son down the steps with his locks, but he's got a beard. I was like, oh, Lord. He was like, Mom, my beard, can I? I was like, hold up. Just told Destiny, hold up, and I'm going to tell you to hold up. So then more products came about. The braid and lock oil, then the beard oil for men because their skin, itchy
they need
underneath.
It too. They need to take care of their skin.
And then I did a beard balm because, their beards are all stickly. When you like, oh no, dude.
No.
So the beard balm, if they put a little on every day, it softens that hair up. So you don't mind them, And so a business can take off, but you have to be ready to allow people to come in and help you.
Yes. And that is so important.
Because it will take off. Now I could have not developed those products. Well, they're in barbershops now. Just think if I had said, no, I'm just only doing this.
Right.
And so now barbers love them. So you have to be ready for what's coming, but you also have to have enough willpower to let somebody else help you.
Yes, or it's just going to hinder your growth.
Exactly.
And you don't want to hinder your growth.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That is so important. That is so important. And to see you grow is what is so exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun and it's exciting because I was like, wait a minute. I said 2 products. Now I'm down to 5 or 6. Hold on. We ain't growing no more. I got to get a handle on this first. I got to get a handle.
You're like, I know. We have so much to talk about, girl. You're definitely going to have to come back on the podcast again. But I want to make sure that we have talked about so many great things today. And it is important important, to collaborate and work
Yes.
together. But I want people to know how to find you. Where is it that they can buy them some sugar scrubs, beard oil, and everything else?
Well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And then my website is divinefavourbodybar.com.
Okay.
If they come to the website, they'll see all the products out there. Information about me is out there. If they want to call me, all that information's out there. I'll be happy to anybody call, want to ask questions. Just come on. Just come on.
All right. That's awesome. And you'll also be able to see her at all those events that I am sponsoring this year.
Yes.
Monique with Most Sophisticated Events and Kathy Coates Events are coming together. And we already have some locked in. So I'm excited about that, along with other events that I will be putting on as well. And with training on those, how to put on a vendor show to creating a vision and making it happen and making that plan happen. So make sure you're paying attention to KathyCoatesEvents.com. And of course, you can see us on all platforms as well. And then make sure you like us at Be Life Changers. Follow us, like, share.
Yes.
We want to make sure everybody in the community is hearing about wonderful businesses like Divine Body Bar. And Charlene, I thank you so much for coming and being on my podcast today. And I appreciate
problem.
it.
I appreciate you, and I thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem.
Okay.
And we look forward to seeing you all on the next Be Life Changers. Until then, have a wonderful week.